What's up, guys? It is Carlton Flowers, Color Boss Custom Auto Body Shop, turning off the compressor and getting ready to clean up and go home. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about this shoot that I did in my homemade paint booth here. You can see my doors that I have with the filters right there. I have been fighting dust and fish eyes for years. I mean, since I've been in here, when I moved in 2016, and just got this room finished, putting together my paint room, which is not perfect. As you can see, I got duct tape up on the wall. I had pipes freeze, and there's a big chunk of sheetrock missing up there. But I tell you what, I mop and scrub and clean this floor like crazy. I put these doors on last winter and have the filters here. I do use the Donna Glow kerosene / diesel heater, torpedo heater, and it does not cause a problem. I know you hear some people say that you cannot run one of these and paint at the same time, that it'll cause fish eyes. Well, that ain't true. And the reason is the new low sulfur diesel standard. The new diesel fuel is so clean that you don't have a lot of contaminants coming out into the air from the exhaust. So I've been running this sucker in the wintertime and I haven't had a problem. But let me show you the proof that even the diesel heat does not cause an issue. Now there's my kitchenette, and I covered up with this real thick fireproof plastic. You can see I've got some air conditioners in the wall. I run those in the summertime. I've got the LED lights up top, and also I put the LED lights on the wall. And I made this wall here. We had originally torn this wall out when I had first bought this building. Big mistake. So I ended up putting this wall back up together myself with 1/2-inch furring strips and the dry erase board stuff that you get from Lowe's. And so I created these panels and I constructed these movable walls. You can see that they're just set up in there and they match up just perfectly. And then I've got these boards glued on the floor and nailed in the ceiling that hold those in place. But if I wanted to take this wall out, I can, and open this whole place up. But this used to be the living room of the apartment that was in here before. This was a storage building plus an apartment. Now let me just show you where I'm at. This is the rest of the shop on this side. There's my lift, okay? You can see how high my ceiling is there. And then I've got like this big bay. And then on the other side where I started, that's the other big bay. And then of course you got the 3 inside bays right there. And then there's my loft going upstairs, and I've got loft space. Okay, so anyhow, let me clean this lens. Back to the topic at hand. Let's go check out what I was shooting today. This is the culmination of 5 days worth of work. This is from a 2021 Nissan Altima or whatever it is. It's sitting in the other side. I spent 5 days. There was heavy chip damage on this car, where there was just like a few hundred little specks, chips, all the way into the primer. You would see white dots all over the top and all over the front and the sides. And I tell you what, I had a time sanding those things out. And when I first started on it, I did not put enough primer on and sand out all of those chips. And when I went to put the base coat on, I noticed you could see every one of those little chips. And so I learned a lesson there. You better sand the crap out of it and put plenty of primer on and get your prep work done. Sand it right before you get onto that base coat. And so after redoing it, I went back, redid it, got it nice and flat, put the base coat on, and then I shot a good 2 thick coats of clear and still noticed some blemishes. But then I sanded that clear to 500 grit, then 800 grit, and then tonight I put on the final clear, and this is what it looks like. And so even though I had a few blemishes after running the first couple coats of clear, it wasn't that bad that I had to take it all the way back down and reshoot the base. It was okay because I had enough good coats of clear that I could go back in with that 500 grit, sand it flat, And then by the time I get that final clear on, you wouldn't see any of those blemishes, which you don't. This is the cleanest job I have ever shot. And like I said, I've been battling fish eyes and dust in here for years. I am like counting, there's just maybe 5 specks of dust on this, which is a shock. It's a complete shock because I've never been able to shoot any job where I would be able to get away with leaving it straight out of the gun and maybe just handling a couple dust nibs. But this job turned out so good. I am not going to have to wet sand, buff, and polish it. I mean, for goodness sake, this is a bumper. You don't want to have to go to that degree, taking several days to, sand it, cutting compound, buffing compound, and then polish, instead of being able to get a good enough shoot where straight out the gun it's looking like this. So this is the culmination of a lot of hard work, experimentation, and just trying, watching videos, getting advice from friends, and getting to the point where this was my goal. I can't tell you how many years that I've worked on this just to be able to get to this point right here. So the professionals out there might say, well, why did it take you so long if you just learned to do it right the first time? Well, you know what? It takes some people a long time. And when you don't have a professional paint booth, when you're building your own, you got to do what you can do. But this goes to show that you can make your own paint booth like I did. And I've got a huge attic fan behind that cover. That's the cover that I put up here. Okay, there's a, 3 or 4 foot fan? It's a great big fan, whatever the case. And then I've got, these are my filters. So what happens is I put 4 20-inch, or I think those are 20-inch squares. So I got the 4 filters in there. I built this frame all by myself out of furring strips and styrofoam and duct tape and staples. So there you can see the framework in the back showing that, but these are the same little 1-inch furring strips that I use to build my walls. So at any rate, that's my filter, okay? And then I can just take those filters off, throw them away, and go get, a pack of them, a pack of 10, where they're only about $1 a piece. So that's not bad. I'll use these 2 or 3 times and then throw them in the trash. And basically I take the cover off there, I put the filters up, I run my chute, and then I swap them out. This is the original front door to the apartment. Now it's the back door to my building. And things are just working out very well. So I just wanted to share that with you. And that is about all I got for this video. By the way, I did shoot this job with the Nason 258-00 clear coat. And I shot that with the regular standard, the 486, 4-something-84 low VOC activator, which is not the right one, but it works well with the 258. It's what you normally use with your 496, 497, and 498, and I can't remember the number just because it's late. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But tomorrow I'm going to be getting back to buffing, cutting, and polishing for this driver's side of the 84 El Camino project, and we'll be talking more about that. So that's all I got for now. This is Carlton Flowers with Color Boss Custom Auto Body Shop, and you know how we like to do it. We just shoot it.